Hello and welcome to the Matrix Fitness Workout. My name's Matt Gleed, and today we're going to take you through a conditioning workout which has got 3 rounds, with the first round conditioning is going to be focused on working you in terms of a fitness level and a bit of strength. The second round is going to be focused on your core work, and the third round we're going to be working on a little bit more of strength training and also some conditioning training again. We'll take you for a warm-up, we'll take you for a cool-down, and everything in the middle. I will be with you every single repetition and give you options to either progress the exercise or to challenge you a little bit more, or just to change it to make it more achievable for you as well. We're going to begin with a little bit of space around you. I've got a mat nearby, which makes it a little bit more comfortable when I go down to do some of the floor work. And we actually do have quite a bit of floor work today. So if you need to get yourself a towel or a jumper, you do that while we begin our mobilizations, and then you come and join in with us as well. So just start to reach out your arms across your body. And what we're looking to begin with here is just to create a little bit of range of movement, just so your body can start to move a little bit more comfortably. Next up, what we're going to do is we're going to pivot round with your hands around about shoulder height, and you're just going to pivot off your feet, through your hips, and through your upper spine as well. We're just creating a little bit of movement through the body. Next up, what we're going to do is we're going to take you into a little squat position. So take your feet about shoulder width apart, and I want you to lower your hips down towards your heels, keeping your back straight and your eyes looking straight ahead. Now, as you start to do this movement, we've got a few options where we could take this into a jump later. So just take your time in working with that range of movement and the depth that you feel comfortable. And then as we go through this, I'll give you the options to challenge yourself at different times throughout today's workout. The next movement we're going to have a look at doing is bring your feet together. You're going to take a large step back, lower the back knee down towards the floor, and then step up. Now, this step back lunge is a great way of creating that deeper range of mobility through your joints, also to activate the muscles, and also you're working on a little bit of stability. Now, the benefit about working on stability, it keeps you working on your balance, which means that when we start to look at some of the bigger movements coming up, you'll be able to find that you feel a little bit more comfortable challenging that balance, and therefore be able to push yourself a little bit more as well. So lots of great benefits from doing a little bit of balance work. Often gets overlooked as well. Okay, it's just loosening you up here. Now, what I want you to do is take an imaginary skipping rope. We're going to get your heart rates up a little bit more. So just imagine as you're skipping, we want to get your heart rate up a little bit higher. Now, when you're doing this one and you feel like that heart rate coming up, just keep pushing off your toes. This will also help prepare you, and especially prepare your calves for doing some of the potential jumping exercises as well. Next up, we're just going to move from side to side. In today's workout, I'm going to give you the options to do a few jumps and also some change of directions as well. So things like jumping jacks, this is a great way to get you used to pushing off and changing the position. Now, we're going to just scissor the feet forwards and backwards. So just keep that movement. 1 foot forwards, 1 foot backwards as well. Okay, and just loosen up the arms and legs there. Bring your hands up to the side of your face. We're going to jab, cross, jab. We're going to switch the feet over, and again, jab, cross, jab. Now, when you throw a jab forwards, it's going to be the front shoulder, and then punch through and across into this straight punch with the opposite side as well. So a jab, a cross punch across the body, and then over towards the opposite side. And I want you to link your feet to your fists. Now, what that means is you are going to pivot off your feet and connect all of your muscles up through the sides of the body as you move yourself around as well. So keep changing those feet over, swapping them into position as you throw those punches forwards, and just relax through the arms there. Brilliant. Let's just take you into a little jumping jack. Now, you're looking to have your arms just coming out to the sides of your body. Now, we're going to have a look at some bigger jumping jacks later on, so don't worry too much about the big range of movement. Let's just start to build this up bit by bit. Prepare your body ready for the workout ahead. Okay, and again, loosen yourself up here. We're going to pivot your feet to one side, and then what we need to do is take a knee strike 3 times on one side, pivot your feet, and then again over to the opposite side, strike your knees up 3 times, and just keep swapping that over. We're looking to create this big range of movement. Activate some of these large muscles. Let's do it 3 more times on each side. Last one's here. 3 more. Drive that knee up high. Good work, and loosen your body up. Let me show you the first exercise for today. You're going to do a squat, side step, squat, side step. So that is your first movement. Each movement we'll do for 45 seconds. Let's begin from now. Now, this is quite a simple movement to begin with, and if you would like to make it a little bit harder, stay a little bit lower and then bring yourself up. So you can almost take yourself into that deep squat, Then bring yourself into the tall position. Alternatively, just step across and then lower the hips down. So as long as you've got that movement of a squat from side to side, where you are challenging and working those muscles, then that is perfect. Doesn't need to be a big range of movement. We just want you moving and at the same time, keeping all your heart rates moving upwards a little bit more as well. With 10 seconds to go, I've got the next exercise, which is going to be down on the floor. So you've got the option of doing a press up on your knees or off your toes as well. So let's have a look at this. The movement is going to be a press up. So you lower your chin and chest towards the floor, bring yourself back up, come up onto your tiptoes, jump your feet in, out, reset the knees, and let's do another press up. So let's go. 45 seconds of work starts now. So this is a press up and then a thruster. So you're jumping your feet in and out from that press up position. Now, again, if you would like to make this a little bit harder, you could do a full press up. So you pick the intensity that feels comfortable for you. And that way, then you're in control as to how hard you're working. Now, if you want to push your heart rate up, keeping the speed higher is going to do that. If you want to challenge your upper body, then doing a full press up will do that. So you get to pick the intensity you work through today. Okay, relax there. Now we're going to stay down on the floor for the third exercise. It's called a renegade row and a mountain climber. So let's have a look at this one. High plank position, bring one hand into the side of the shoulder, swapping it over to the opposite side, and then we alternate the knees coming underneath the chest. Let's do it all together. 45 seconds, hand comes to the shoulder, alternate to the opposite side, then the knee strikes, and then repeat. So keep movement going, hand comes in, and then the knee strikes. And each time you do those knee strikes, trying to maintain that back working. So think about squeezing your shoulder blades together. Think about squeezing your butt cheeks together. And I know that almost makes the exercise a little bit harder. That's where the benefits of the tone and the conditioning work really comes in. Good. Last 5 seconds. Let's see if we can get another round of these in. And relax there. Okay, bring yourself back up to a standing position. Now, we're going to do the same exercises again, but this time I'm going to try and offer you some different progressions as well. The first one is going to be a push off the floor. So stay low and push off if you can. So think about doing that squat, but this time we stand down in a low squat position, and I want you to push off the floor and in an explosive way, really try and challenge your thighs as well. So stay low for me, down into that deep squat position, push yourself off the floor, and then over to the opposite side. Now, I want you to really think about trying to push your heart rate when you do this one, because I want you to feel like you are pushing your fitness, and this will help you burn a few more calories as well. The harder you work in these ones, the better, but make sure if you wanted to, you could always revert to just doing that squat and side step if you'd like to. Okay, relax there. Let's get you ready for those press-ups. Down on the floor with the thruster. So this one, again, the press up can be on your toes or it can be on your knees. Again, your option as to how hard you want to work for the different reasons that we looked at the first round. Let's get you working. Let's go 45 seconds. And then jump your legs in and out. So press up, then thrust those hips forwards and backwards as you take the knees. Make sure as you do those press-ups, it is your chin, chest, and hips coming down towards the floor, and then push strongly away from the floor. Keep that speed going. Now, the quicker you work, the harder it's going to be, but you need to make sure it's your whole body coming all the way down to the floor. There's no point doing lots of little reps when we really want to create that range of movement, so we really challenge the upper body muscles as well. Okay, and release there. Next exercise, give those arms a little shake in between, is the renegade row and the mountain climbers. Okay, so think about this one. Hand comes in towards the shoulder, alternate it, then the knees walk in as well. Bit of almost an introduction to some of the core work we're going to do. Let's get going. 45 seconds, one hand into the shoulder, place it back down onto the floor, swap the hand over, and then that mountain climber in the middle. Take your time on this one. Try not to rush it too much. It's always about stabilizing through your body before you take the hand away from the floor. I don't want your body shifting too much, you see. So as you take that hand off, your hips shouldn't be moving too much. Trying to keep the hips in line with the shoulders. And you'll feel that if you think about squeezing your butt cheeks together when you lift those hands off, that will help stabilize your hips and really hold you in a good position as well. Give it a go if you can. Think about squeezing the butt cheeks tight when you lift your hand off, and you'll find that your core, especially around your ribs, start to work a little bit harder. Good. Okay, relax there. Let's grab a mat and let's get you ready for our first exercise on the floor, which is going to be a V-sit. So we'll keep the mat down for the rest of the exercises now, but I want you to lie down on your back, extend your arms and legs out long, and let's go straight into this. Reach up towards your toes, lower yourself back down again. Exhale as you reach up, inhale as you lower yourself back down. Now, the longer your legs are, the harder this exercise is going to be. So if you need to shorten the lever length a little bit more, that's fine. So you could always bend your knees and bring your knees to elbows and then lower yourself back down. So you're in control to the intensity all the time. Now, if you're with me with straight arms, straight legs, be really careful and methodical as you lower yourself back down. So reach up with strength, lower down with control. Let's get one more in. And relax there. Great job. Okay, next exercise I'm going to look at, it's called a heel drop. So bringing your feet up so they're at 45 degrees. So the knees are over the hips. You're going to lower one heel towards the floor, bring the heel back up, and swap to the other side. So take your time in this one. Let's get moving. 45 seconds. Lower a heel towards the floor. Just dropping it down. Heel can just touch and then return back up to where it started. Always important to make sure that the knees stay above the hips. If you start to bring them in too much, your hips start to rock. And we want to keep your lower back on the floor as well. If at any time you feel your lower back leaving the floor, be really mindful about pushing the lower back deep into the floor. And it creates a really good amount of stability. So it keeps everything in control then as well. Take your time. Keep that control. Slowly lower the heel down, then bring it back up again. Good work. Okay, last couple of these. And then I'm going to introduce you to this next exercise. So for the next exercise, we're going to sit you tall. What's going to happen, it's called a Russian twist. We're going to sit tall through your spine. You're going to lower yourself back to the point where you feel your core working. Now I just simply want you to rotate round from one side, then over to the other. And as you rotate from one side to the other, take your time, keep that control. A nice smooth movement, move from one side to the other. It's all about a nice slow movement where you're always working as well. So just take your time, keep that little lean back, keep working. The further you lower back, the harder it's going to be, but really think about keeping the length between your head and your hips so the spine stays as straight as possible, and just rotate around. Good work. Take your time. Last couple of seconds here. And relax. Okay, lie yourself down onto the floor again. You get 15 seconds of recovery, so just feel and enjoy what it feels like to get the hips to be lengthened here. Sometimes the hip flexors do a lot of work when we're doing some of these core exercises, so allowing the hips to straighten is great. Next up is a V-sit, so arms up high again. Let's breathe out as you reach up towards your toes and lower yourself back down again. So again, breathe out as you reach up. Inhale as you lower yourself back down, taking your time, keeping control. Your lower back is pressed against the floor. Speed is the biggest common fault on this one, so keep it slow. Be methodical for your movement. Reach up high, keep strong, then slowly lower down gradually. Good work. You're doing a great job. Just keep that going. Just over 10 seconds to go. Make sure you're breathing out on the way up. Breathing in on the way back down. And relax there. Okay, heel drops on your next exercise. Bring your feet up at 90 degrees. And then lower one heel down towards the floor and alternate to the other side. Okay, so you've got 5 seconds. Let's get yourself set. Lower back's pushed into the floor again. And off we go. One heel down towards the floor. Heel just touches the floor. Very gentle touch. And then bring it back up. And each time you're coming down, so that your knees are directly above your hips. Now, if you want to make things a little bit harder, you can actually put your hands just in front of your knees. And as you bring yourself back in, think about one leg pushing against your hand. So you're engaging a little bit more and then swap them over. So feel yourself working against your hand as the opposite leg moves away. And as you're doing that, you'll just add a little bit more core tension. Nice little twist to the exercise, this one. Really does engage the muscles a little bit deeper and makes it all work a little bit harder. Okay, relax there. Next exercise, that Russian twist, so sitting tall. And we're going to rotate round from side to side again. So again, straighten through your spine. Extend yourself back. So you go into a position where you're lowered, but you're in a strong position. And then from here, let's add that rotation from one side back to the center where you realign the spine, and then over to the other side. So each time, just come back to the center. Just check in with your body as to whether it's straight, whether everything is in a good position before you rotate around to the opposite side again. Good. Slowly lower from one side to the other. Keep control. Well done. Just keep that movement. 15 seconds to go on this one. So again, if you could lower back a little bit further, that's great. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, you might even go for lifting your heels off the floor. Last 5 seconds. Keeping your feet and your knees almost like glued together. Brilliant. Let's bring you back up to a standing position. Let's take you into our third round of exercises. Now, this next exercise is a jumping jack. So we did a little bit of these in the warm-up. Then we're going to take a squat pulse, which we've done as well. So think about 2 jumping jacks for me, and then 2 squats down nice and low. Let's get going. 45 seconds. Join me with these jumping jacks, and then 2 squat pulses with a narrow stance, and then back out to that jumping jack. We're just going to keep that movement going. Big ranges of movement, good conditioning exercises. So this will get your heart rates back up after being sat down onto the floor. The higher you lift your arms, the harder this is going to be as well. So if you want to bring your arms all the way up overhead, you're going to need to move a little bit quicker. And with that bigger range of movement, you start to challenge your heart rates even higher again. So a great way of improving your fitness is by doing big movements quickly. And this is quite a good one to start with. It's not too difficult as well. Okay, relax there. Now, here's your strength exercise. We did mention that we're going to focus on some strength. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to stand with one foot in front of you. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to do a single leg squat. That's right, a single leg squat. So we're going to lower your body down. Now, the foot in front of you is there to give you balance and support. So lower your hips down, just like we did in our warm-up, just like we did in that squat pulse just a second ago. But this time, all the work is coming through that single leg. Now we're going down slowly and then up in one as well. So down slow. So the muscles really have to work and then back up. Now, when you're going slow, don't just do the top part slow. Do the whole range of movement constantly at the same speed and then bring yourself back up again. Great job. Last 10 seconds. Now, obviously, you're noticing that we're just doing that single leg, which means that when we repeat these exercises, we'll do the other side as well. Great job. Okay, loosen your legs up. We're down to the floor to do an upper body exercise, and then we'll repeat all those and move to the other side. So this exercise is a T press up, which means that we're going to do a press up on your knees or your toes and then create a T position as well. Let's go straight into these. Now we've done the press ups already. So chin and chest down towards the floor. Bring yourself back up, then up into that T position. Hand comes back down, and then it can be a full press up or a half press up. And then bring yourself back up again. So again, you pick the intensity. It can be press-ups on the knees and then come up onto your toes if you can. I love doing these side planks. I think this is one of the best ways to strengthen through the muscles all down the side of your body. So I'm a big fan of these, which is why we're doing them today. It really helps give people a really good condition, keeping the muscles toned, strong, and keeping your body looking lean as well, which is great. Okay, last one here, press up. We'll take it to the opposite side, pause for a second, and then bring yourself up. So here we go. Last run through. Jumping jacks, ×2. Then the squat pulses. Then it's those single leg squats. Finishing with the T press ups. Then we'll take a stretch. So not long to go. Let's get you work on these. Jumping jacks. Give me 2. Give me the squat pulse. And then back into that jumping jacks. Arms above the head if you can. Squat pulse. Good. Keep that deep range of movement going. Good work, good work, good work. Keep that speed of the tempo up. The transition from one exercise into the other. Try and keep that fluid movement so it is challenging you if you can. Just over 10 seconds to go. Let's see if we can get those heart rates up a little bit more. Think of this as your final 5 seconds before your heart rates will start coming down as well. Okay, relax there. Now, it's the single leg squat again. So one leg is doing the squatting, the other leg just steps forwards. Make sure you swap the legs over. Okay, now from this position, down in 3 seconds, and then up quickly in 1. Let's go. 45 seconds of work. This should get us around about good 10 repetitions here. Down for 3, up in 1. Now, I know sometimes the temptation is when it gets hard, you move a little bit quicker. That's fine. The count of 3 doesn't always mean 3 seconds for every single person. Sometimes people count a little bit quicker than others. So I want you just to work with your own ability. If you find it gets tiring and you want to move a little bit quicker because it doesn't hurt or work as much, that's fine. All about managing your own body today. Keep that tempo slow if you can. Be strong on that way back up. Down for 3. Up in 1. Okay, relax there. Let's take it to the floor for this very last exercise. This is your T press up. Again, the press up can be done on your knees, or alternatively, it can be done on the toes. You pick the intensity. Each time come to that strong side plank position. Let's get you set. And off we go. So press up, then back up into that T position. Just pause for a second each time. Come back into the center, and then lower yourself back down again. Good work. It's all about controlled movement here. So trying to get the body down low and then bring yourself up high and just pause that second. Remember, the full press up is your option as well. So you do as much work as you feel comfortable to do. Okay, last 3 seconds. Let's do one more repetition. And relax there. Great job. Okay, just shake those arms out. Give them a little rotation. Okay, now we're going to do an exercise called an up dog and down dog. So it begins with your hands underneath your shoulders. I'm going to keep my knees rested onto the mat. Just going to lower my hips forwards. Let my eyes look upwards. Roll the shoulder blades back and down. Now, with the toes tucked underneath the body, I'm going to push into my hands and lift my hips high and just transfer the weight equal between my feet. And I'm just going to pedal my heels here. So just walking them out slowly. This will just allow a little bit more of a stretch to come into the calves. Now, bring yourself back into that up dog again, but this time, not going to let the knees touch the floor. Going to feel the stretch through the front of the hips. Feel the curve in the lower back, eyes looking up, shoulder blades rolled back and down. A very active position. Then again, pushing into your hands back to downward facing dog. And again, we're not going to move this one, just going to hold it. Think about your hips going high, your heels going back. Think about pushing through the arms to develop the stretch down through the back of the body. Good. Now we're going to take one foot and I want you to sweep that foot up high. So that foot comes close to your hand. Then reach the hand high. And I just want you to find equal balance between both feet where you're holding a balanced position. Well done. From here, the hand comes down inside the foot, push back to downward facing dog, and then over to the opposite side. And again, reach your hand up high, push the back heel away. Well done. And again, bring that hand down inside the foot, step back to downward facing dog. Good. Now we're going to rest your knees onto the floor and lower your hips towards your heels. Just think about creeping your fingertips forwards so you can feel a stretch down the sides of the back. Okay, now we're going to bring yourself back up to a standing position. So transfer the weight from your hands onto the feet and slowly roll up through the spine. And what we're going to do is just take you into some upper body stretches. So to begin with, we're going to do an upper back stretch. So imagine you're hugging a giant inflatable ball. And if you were to blow into that ball, the elbows go a little bit wider and your hands move away a little bit further. And you start to feel a stretch all the way across the upper back. Well done. Now from here, bring your hands behind you. Link your hands together. And I want you to lift your chin and chest tall. Think about squeezing your shoulder blades together. Feel the stretch come across your chest, through the shoulders. And release that there. Great job. Now we're going to take you into a balancing quadricep stretch. That's the front of the thighs. So if you want to hold on to something, you can do, but bring one foot up into the palm of your hand. Have a slight bend in the standing foot. I want you to straighten through your spine and think about pushing your hip forwards. Now, as you do that, you start to feel a slightly deeper stretch through your thigh, and you also feel your hip flexor stretching as well. Well done. Okay, let's swap that over to the opposite side. Again, a slight bend in the standing foot, straighten through the spine. Push the foot into the palm of your hand for a deeper stretch. Think about pushing your hip forward slightly. Great job. Okay, and just loosening your body up again. Thank you very much for joining me part of this matrix workout. We will be back next week on Tuesday and Thursday, both at 7:45, 12 o'clock, and also this 5 o'clock time as well. We look forward to seeing you then. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.